How much would it cost to own a piece of World War II history? Not a uniform or a medal, but an actual German armoured fighting vehicle, restored, functional, and yours to keep in a climate-controlled garage. The answer might surprise you, though affordable is relative when we're talking about machines that once rolled across Europe. Let's begin with the light tanks and early war workhorses, where prices start in the bargain basement of 6 figures. Panzer Y. The Panzer Y was Germany's training tank, never meant for serious combat, but pressed into service anyway. Running examples fetch between $200,000 and $300,000, with non-operational hulks starting around $50,000. Panzer II. The Panzer II served as the light reconnaissance tank of the early war, and its relative abundance means better availability. Expect to pay $400,000 to $600,000 for a restored runner, though spare parts remain surprisingly accessible. Panzer 35T. The Panzer 35T was a Czech-built import that saw limited service before mechanical issues sidelined it. Rarity doesn't equal desirability here. Prices hover around $300,000 because collectors prefer more significant machines. Panzer 38T. The Panzer 38T improved on its predecessor and became one of Germany's most reliable early tanks. Museum-quality examples command $600,000 to $800,000, with matching serial numbers adding $50,000 to the price. Next up are the armoured cars and reconnaissance vehicles, where lighter weight made post-war survival more likely. SDKFs 222. The SDKFs 222. Armoured car offers easier restoration than tracked vehicles, making it popular with first-time collectors. Running examples sell for $250,000 to $400,000, with complete turret mechanisms being the rarest component. SDKFZ 231. The SDKFZ 231 8-wheeled variant commands a rarity premium despite similar capabilities to its 4-wheeled cousin. Prices range from $500,000 to $750,000, depending on operational status of all axles. Continuing with the improvised tank destroyers, where desperate engineering created unlikely survivors. Marder II. The Marder II mounted captured Russian guns on obsolete Panzer II chassis, creating vulnerable but effective stopgaps. Only a handful survived the war. Expect prices around $900,000 for complete examples. Marder III. The Marder III used the reliable 38T chassis and saw better preservation rates than its predecessor. Restored versions fetch $700,000 to $900,000, with original gun shields being particularly valuable since most were combat losses. But these workhorses represent bargain prices in the world of German armour collecting. The vehicles we've covered so far seem almost affordable, until you remember that cheap still means a down payment on a Beverly Hills mansion. Now we enter the realm of the main battle tanks and assault guns, the vehicles that defined armoured warfare on every front, and the machines that museums fight over at auction. Here, affordable becomes a distant memory, and 6-figure prices give way to millions. These are the workhorses that kept the Wehrmacht mobile, and their combat significance means collectors pay accordingly. Panzer III. The Panzer III served as Germany's primary tank in the early war years, engaging Allied armour across North Africa and Russia. Restored examples command $1.2 to $1.8 million, with late-model long-barrel variants fetching the premium. Panzer IV. The Panzer IV remained in production longer than any other German tank, evolving from infantry support to tank killer. Running examples sell for $2 to $3 million, the price of 3 Lamborghinis, with OSFH models being most desirable. Next up are the assault guns and tank destroyers, where enclosed fighting compartments helped more examples survive the war intact. Stug III. The Stug III was Germany's most produced armoured fighting vehicle, yet complete survivors remain surprisingly rare given their combat losses. Museum-quality examples fetch $2.5 to $3.5 million, with matching drivetrain components adding $500,000. Stush 42. The Stursch 42 mounted a howitzer for infantry support rather than anti-tank work, making it rarer than its 75mm cousin. Prices hover around 2.8 million for operational examples, assuming the complex recoil system functions. Hetzer. The Hetzer combined small size with a potent gun, though its cramped interior and limited traverse made crew operation miserable. Complete running examples command $2 million, with reproduction gun mantlets accepted by most collectors. Jagdpanzer IV. The Jagdpanzer IV offered better protection than improvised conversions, becoming a favourite among armour museums worldwide. Expect prices between 2.5 and 3 million, with original Zimmerit paste adding 200,000. Continuing with the self-propelled artillery pieces, where size worked against wartime survival but helps modern preservation. Nashorn. The Nashorn's open fighting compartment exposed crews to artillery and strafing, ensuring few survived the Eastern Front. Complete examples fetch $3 million, with restored running gear being the costliest restoration element. Hummel. The Hummel's massive size made post-war scrapping difficult, ironically helping preservation rates despite its rarity. Operational examples command 3.2 million, with original trail spades and hydraulics doubling restoration costs. Vespe. The Vespe proved more common than its larger cousin, using the reliable Panzer II chassis as its foundation. Running examples sell for 1.8 to 2.3 million, depending on gun tube condition. Brummbär. The Brummbär's thick frontal armour helped examples survive both combat and post-war target practice at Allied ranges. Restored versions fetch 2.7 million, with intact howitzer breech mechanisms being the critical component. If a Panzer IV costs what a Malibu beach house costs, imagine what collectors pay for the legends, the tigers and panthers that even non-enthusiasts recognise by name. Tiger I. The Tiger I represents the apex of tank collecting, the Mona Lisa of armoured warfare, instantly recognisable and universally coveted. Only 6 or 7 operational examples exist worldwide, with most locked in museum collections that will never sell, making private ownership nearly impossible. When Bovington's Tiger 131 was hypothetically valued for insurance purposes, experts estimated $10 to $12 million, though the museum would never part with history's only running Tiger. The gap between a static display Tiger and an operational one represents $3 million in restoration costs alone, assuming you can find machinists capable of rebuilding a Maybach HL230 engine. Panther. The Panther combined the best elements of German engineering with Soviet design inspiration, creating what many consider the finest medium tank of the war. Running examples command $8 to $10 million, though mechanical complexity means even wealthy collectors hesitate before committing to ownership. Germany's Munster Museum and France's Saumur both possess operational Panthers, but national heritage laws prevent their sale at any price. Private collectors have acquired static examples for 4 to 6 million, knowing that restoration to running condition might cost another 4 million if parts can even be sourced. King Tiger. The King Tiger pushed heavy tank design to its absolute limit, creating a nearly impregnable fortress that destroyed bridges and consumed fuel at catastrophic rates. Estimates for a theoretical running example exceed $12 million, though none exist in private hands and likely never will. Only 6 complete King Tigers survive worldwide, with Bovington's example being the sole runner after a decade-long restoration, costing £4 million. Museum curators guard these machines with institutional jealousy, knowing their value transcends money into the realm of irreplaceable historical artifacts. Next up are the specialized tank destroyers and assault guns, where extreme performance came at the cost of extreme rarity. Jagdpanther. The Jagdpanther married the Panther chassis to a long 88mm gun, creating what many experts consider the finest tank destroyer ever built. Complete examples command $6 to $8 million, with museums outbidding private collectors at every opportunity. Elephant. The Elephant emerged from Ferdinand Porsche's rejected Tiger design. becoming a mechanical nightmare with devastating firepower. The single privately owned example would likely fetch $9 million at auction, though its current owner shows no interest in selling. Jagdtiger. The Jagdtiger mounted a battleship-grade 128mm gun on a chassis that could barely move it, creating the heaviest armoured vehicle to see combat. Theoretical pricing exceeds $10 million, but all surviving examples reside in museums that consider them priceless. Sturmtiger. The Sturmtiger fired rocket-propelled naval depth charges at fortifications, requiring specialized loading equipment and a 6-man crew. Only 6 or 7 complete examples exist worldwide, with estimated values around $7 million for static display models. But even these legendary machines aren't the most expensive German armour. Beyond them lie the unicorns, where pricing becomes purely theoretical. Beyond even the Tigers and Panthers lie vehicles so rare that pricing becomes an exercise in speculation rather than market analysis. These are the prototypes, the one-off survivors, and the machines museums will never surrender regardless of offers. Here, theoretical values exceed the cost of private islands, and ownership remains forever out of reach. Maus. The Maus super heavy tank exists as a single complete example in Kubinka, Russia, assembled from 2 prototypes destroyed in testing. Estimates suggest 15 to 20 million if it ever reached auction, though Russian heritage laws guarantee it never will. Next up are the remote-controlled demolition vehicles, where disposable battlefield roles ensured almost none survived intact. Goliath. The Goliath demolition vehicle was designed to be destroyed on first use, making complete examples extraordinarily rare. Museums pay $400,000 to $600,000 for intact units, with functional control systems doubling the price. Borgward B4. The Borgward B4 remote-controlled bomb carrier saw limited production and fewer survivors after its explosive purpose. Complete examples command $1.2 million, with working radio equipment being nearly impossible to authenticate. Continuing with the ultra-rare prototypes and experimental vehicles that never reached mass production. Grill 17/21. The Grill heavy self-propelled gun exists in only 1 or 2 examples worldwide, with prototype status making valuation purely hypothetical. Experts estimate $8 million if one ever left museum custody, which institutional pride prevents. Karl Garrett. The Karl Garrett siege mortar fired 2-ton shells at concrete fortifications, with only a handful built and fewer surviving. The complete example at Kubinka is effectively priceless, immovable, irreplaceable, and valued at over $12 million in theoretical terms. Dicker Max. The Dicker Max prototype tank destroyer exists as a single survivor at Kubinka, making it one of history's most exclusive armoured vehicles. Theoretical auction value exceeds $9 million for a machine that participated in combat testing but never entered production. But monetary value tells only part of the story. These prices represent engineering ambition, historical turning points, and mechanical artistry that billionaire collectors compete to possess. So how much does a German World War II tank cost today? For a Panzer IV, around $3 million. For a Tiger, closer to $10 million if one ever became available. For a King Tiger or Maus, no amount of money can buy what museums guard as irreplaceable national heritage. In the end, the most expensive German tanks aren't the ones you can buy, they're the ones you can't.